Have you ever felt afraid to step into something new? Maybe it's a career change, a big move of some sort, or even trusting God in a way that you never have before. If you're feeling stuck between where you are and where you believe or sense that God is calling you, then baby, this message is for you. This was my challenge when I first thought about creating content. I've long been told by strangers and friends that I offer pretty good advice and I'm good with speaking to and encouraging people, but I was terrified to get in front of a camera. I battled with whether or not I was qualified, and I was very afraid of being judged. However, I knew that I had to be obedient. I guess I just had to realize that courage isn't about how I feel, but it's about who stands and walks with me. You know, God commanded Joshua to be strong and courageous as he led the children of Israel into the promised land. And guess what? That same command that applies to us today. I know it's very ghetto. But in this video, I will share what it really means to be courageous, how to push past fear, and how to confidently walk into what God is calling you into, but doing so with Him by your side. So let's talk a little bit about courage and what true courage is. You know, I don't know where we were sold and bought the lie that courage is the absence of fear. Probably the same place we got peace is the absence of storms. But true courage looks at the things that make us fearful and declares that despite these things, baby, we moving forward. True courage is recognizing that the thing God has called you to, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's just not about you. It's moving beyond your own feelings of fear and anxiety and worry and choosing obedience because you understand that your mission and your purpose, they are so much greater than you. If you don't remember anything else I say, remember this. Fear is self-centered. Courage is purpose-centered. Now, I understand there are so many reasons to be afraid and to feel that this fear appears real. People may think you stupid. They may even call you stupid. Or you may fail or get your heart broken, or people may not support your business. And that list can go on and on for eternity. You know, it's especially amazing that we as believers are quick to believe in all the things that may go wrong before we even consider the fact that they could go right, even if they go wrong first. And I've learned that when things tend to go wrong first, it's in that time that God is preparing us. Both fear and faith require that we believe in something we don't or can't see. But true courage chooses faith because of who was promised to be with us. Because our God is a loving Father who literally gave up everything for us. He cares about our feelings, despite what people say. But baby, He don't care about them more than He cares about our purpose. Not once in chapter 1 of Joshua do we see Joshua telling God, oh Lord, he was scared, or I'm afraid, or I just can't do this. But clearly God sensed his feelings and understood the enormity of this task he was undertaking. It's this reason why after telling Joshua in verses 6 and 7 to only be strong and very courageous, that God doubles back in verse 9 and was like, you can't hear it. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. As a matter of fact, don't be terrified or dismayed, for I, the Lord your God, I am with you wherever you go. The one constant with every new season or new beginning is that it is going to require courage. It's one thing for me if I ask God to do something or I ask Him for something. You know, I could somewhat understand challenges presenting themselves, right? But when He asked me to do something, I figure it should be easy because I was minding my own business. And here He comes along and putting this dream in my heart or bringing this word to me. And then He has the audacity to allow it to be difficult. I just don't get it. Every major transition in life, though, comes with uncertainty. I said this before, and I will continue saying it. The enemy has more faith in our abilities and the future God has for us than we do. So while he cannot stop the transition into a new season, he loves using fear to paralyze us so that we sabotage ourselves. Satan can't change the destination because he just can get that kind of pull. But he can stop us in our tracks by using fear to make us abandon the journey. He'll use fear to stop us from leaving toxic relationships, stepping into a new career or ministry, or launching a business, or even trusting God after a season of failure or loss or difficulty. Courage doesn't mean that you won't feel afraid, so don't let anybody tell you that, oh, you can't be courageous if you feel in fear. It doesn't work that way. But it does mean that you move forward despite fear. It's knowing that the God of the universe, the big God, the God with the big G, not the little g, the God who sent his one good son to die a horrifying death for you, that same God, it's knowing that he is with you. Another thing that's true about entering a new season or a new beginning is that we are going to face resistance and opposition. Joshua faced opposition the moment he stepped into his calling. From he and the children of Israel entered the promised land, they had to face the Canaanites, who were the original inhabitants of that land, as well as the Anakim. I think they were the descendants of Anak, giant-like people. Resistance doesn't just show up as obstacles in the way of your new season. It shows up in the opinions of the people you surround yourself with. The very same land Joshua and the children of Israel entered, as we see during the first 5 chapters of the book of Joshua, is the same land their parents and their grandparents had the opportunity to enter 40 years earlier, based on what Numbers 13 tells us. So this 40-year delay and the death of an entire generation was pretty much all because the people heard the report of the 12 spies Moses had sent out, but they decided to choose fear rather than faith. The spies, when they went out to survey the land, they all reported that the land was one of abundance, so much so that just a single bunch of grapes needed 2 spies to hook it on a pole and carry it between them. The spies said that it was a land flowing with milk and with honey, and it possessed all the resources that the Israelites needed for them to flourish. They also reported that, there were giants in the land, and yes, the cities were fortified, at least 10 of them did. It's the report of these 10 that was the only thing the Israelites needed to hear for them to not only move into fear and discouragement, but also for them to forget that the God who is saying he's with you to enter the land is the same God who just delivered you from Pharaoh by parting a whole Red Sea. Like how quickly they forgot. But be wary of the people who on the one hand tell you they support you and your dreams are achievable and you got this, and in the very next breath they list off all the reasons why you're likely to fail. I'm in the process of stepping into something very new, and I am selective with who I share it with. Now, partly that's because I'm still ironing out a whole host of details, but that's also because I don't need somebody else's doubt mixing with mine, and then next thing you know, my progress is stalled. I'm the type of person who, when I get excited about anything new, I gotta share it. But in this season, baby, I am learning to exercise the gift of discernment and the even more valuable gift of shutting up. No matter the form resistance takes, know that the enemy wouldn't fight you if you weren't a threat to the kingdom of darkness, to the kingdom of hell, and to the plans he is trying to execute. So as one of my favorite cartoon characters says,
keep moving forward.
So with all that I've shared, let's talk a bit about what the key is to boldly walking into a new season. Joshua 1:9 reminds us that the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So not only are you walking into this new season with God, but baby, he has already gone before you. He's already created the path and he has seen you victorious. So even if you don't trust your version or your vision of the future, trust his, because he's already seen and he has called the end from the beginning, and I promise you the end is beautiful. Courage isn't about how strong you feel, because again, it ain't about you, but it's about trusting His strength and knowing that it far outweighs our fears. So if you're stepping into something new, or you feel that you're being pulled into a new season, know that God is not just with you, but baby, He has already prepared the way. So tell me, what's a new beginning you're stepping into? Drop it in the comments so I can pray for you. Have you ever let fear stop you from moving forward? Let's talk about it below. And if this message has blessed you in any way, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more faith-based encouragement, and hit the little notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next.